interesting little pick here. First ban for Twitch ever in North American LCS.
People don't like it, haven't played against it a lot unless it's been in that solo queue over and over again. And right now, the NA LCS pros are using it and getting some good wins. Turtle, not finding it. They were definitely ahead that game. He won't get to try it this time. 4 more seconds for the last ban here on Team Solomid side. LeBlanc could be going out. Kha'Zix gets left up as well. There are some big picks right now.
Kha'Zix and Pantheon, they're just leaving up a lot of junglers here, so pretty much any early game jungler that they want to go with, they can pick. They don't actually have to use the first pick on that one. Kha'Zix is pretty much widely regarded as the strongest at this moment, but Pantheon for IWillDominate is such a comfort champion. I don't think they have to use their first pick on jungle.
Talking it out with Quas. Looks like Bunny Fufuu's having a say in this one along with Dominate. They're saying, do you want to grab the support? We have that option for Thresh coming out. Bunny Fufuu loves his Thresh. And it would be an easy pickup that does not show too much about the rest of the composition. 15 seconds, Curse. It's Team Solomid. They got to take their time, and they're really considering these picks. It's going to be the LB. Even Voyboy has been struggling on LeBlanc.
Well, let's see if he changes his build this time around. I don't think he will be opting for that very low damage early game build of the mobility boots and flask, but you never know. He might go right back to it. It did get him that first kill.
Yeah.
Just late game, man. You run into some problems. You do not have that penetration and damage.
Oh man. So now Dyrus and the odd one to be picking out here. I would expect Dyrus to be picking for himself, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Doublelift saying he picked up that Lucian because of the strength he saw on WildTurtle, and WildTurtle's going to be taking that Lucian back for this game.
Kha'Zix locked in. Not really a surprise there. And talking about early game, it is going to be hard now for Curse to try and take control of that. Kha'Zix's early evolution for his ultimate, it just becomes extremely annoying, very hard to deal with. Good news for Curse though, as you said, Thresh is by far and away Bunny Fufuu's best champion. He's so good on that champion. It's definitely a very good early pick for them, and since there's no support yet for TSM, they should be grabbing this one away.
Him and Cop synergize quite well.
Well,
we actually haven't seen Cop play Draven in quite a while. I mean, he tried to bully out Dyrus, Lucian on WildTurtle for this one. See the picks coming in with the Renekton, so that actually will not go to Dyrus this time. They're looking at it. Bjergsen gives it the hover. Xpecial, he has been hot on Leona these past few days.
Picking a okay.
Turtle is melting into his chair.
Now, I was definitely expecting Trundle from Quas, but as I said before, you know, Renekton, they were looking to win early game. They go with the Renekton pick. Now, Shyvana into Renekton, she will be a bit behind, but going Cloth 5 start is now the pretty much the norm here for Shyvana going into this Renekton since the nerfs to Doran's shield. And it's very hard to dive her now because she has so much sustain, so many potions to rely on. It really depends so much on this early jungle from Curse.
A lot of safety for this pick in Cop here. Caitlyn would be nice. Cop has one of the higher average farm rates. He usually keeps himself on the top of the list in the game, but against WildTurtle, he's going to have to worry about that damage to him and not his minions around him. Elise could be picked up. We only saw that being played by Dominate yesterday as well. So
if you're going for tower dives, if you're going to go for those tower dives for the early game, then Elise is a great pickup. Even though the damage reduction on her abilities hit her fairly hard, she still has the ability to lose tower aggro. And she does scale, interestingly, into the late game now with the cocoon time going up. So towards the late game, Curse actually have a very strong pick team. They've got the long range from Caitlyn sieging up here. And if they get, you know, Elise Cocoon or Thresh Hook in the late game, they can easily make some plays off of that.
Bjergsen locking in the Nidalee. Like you said, it's going to help with that Elise tower diving, and Bjergsen has to consider that Elise is going to be coming in with a LeBlanc, and he needs a safe champion as well. So he picks Nidalee. He's going to keep his range on, and he has provided some great results on Nidalee.
Yeah. Nidalee bringing that tower power to the TSM team. She's great sieging up around those. So basically, TSM's game plan is Late game, we wait for one of these spears to hit. As soon as a spear does hit a good target, Solar Flare from Xpecial, jump in from Dyrus with Dragon's Descent, and Kha'Zix is looking for that kill on the target who just got speared. So it's kind of a waiting game with TSM, just waiting for that one to hit. As soon as that one does hit, then they pull the trigger, long range engage.
Well, the champs are locked in and loading. Let's see who you predicted to win at home and on your phones if you're voting here in the studio. According to LOLesports.com, a lot of you voted and are tipping it in favor of Team Solomid with 87%.
Woo. That's not a 90% vote for TSM. That's a new one.
Two pretty one-sided votes today, though. We'll see if TSM can hold true to this one. They are seeming to be very relaxed and comfortable. Everybody getting the checklist off on the side of Curse to make sure everything is all right. Good old Tizza, making sure things are right as rain.
All right, so yeah, definitely if Curse are looking for that early game, focusing on Elise and Renekton, because there's not usually a lot of early action. Cop is a very safe AD carry. They don't usually have a lot of the kills on the bottom side of the map, even though he does get a good gold lead, and he plays Caitlyn all the time, so he should be getting some control of the bottom lane. You'll have to worry about the kill potential, though. Anytime you go up against Lucian Leona, yes, you have the range disadvantage for CS in lane, but it's always the option for Xpecial to go all in. He's so confident in his Leona play that even going up against people on Thresh who can flay you out of your engages, he finds ways around it, and he fakes people out.
Well, jumping into game 2, we'll see who gets faked out, juked out, and taken down for first blood in this game. Curse coming up against Team Solomid. It is a 3-0 in the head-to-head here. Curse looking to scratch one, put one on the board for themselves in the W column against Team Solomid. It's going to be tough. They have a very strong team to go against. TSM looking like they got some quite high-tier picks for themselves. This is going to be TheOddOne's first game on Kha'Zix in the spring split. We'll see how he fares onto that one.
Well, he's definitely in a good spot as far as 1v1 with Elise. Since the Elise nerfs, he's got a very good potential to brawl Elise if he finds her in the jungle somewhere. So Kha'Zix definitely has a lot of power that TheOddOne can make use of early. However, he has to work with a mid laner. Nidalee, not a lot of control from the mid lane early, so he has to be wary of that and know that he's probably not going to have the upper hand as far as support from mid lane is concerned if he gets into any brawls.
Remember what Alex Each said playing against the Nidalee. It annoys him so much because you can't kill her. She just plays so safe. I want to be able to take down my lane.
It's all about sustain early, just trying to farm up till he hits level 6.
Well, Curse setting up.
It's WildTurtle. They're trying to keep him from getting bored already. Keep focused. Stay focused.
Looks like he's going to stay focused in the top lane. Team Solomid back to the wheelhouse. Swatching.
That
one gets
going
more
up.
Than
they're
not.
going up for a late invade here, it looks like.
But this one usually goes
and
in
lane
for
swap.
the invade, and then we'll see the TheOddOne come up in the 3v1 on the top turret for TSM. Well, they just take a few pictures with their opponent and then take him down.
Now, it's a late invade, but they're not looking to give it to the TheOddOne. This is another attempt at a 2-buff start here.
They're warded on that side, so...
Ooh, dangerous.
Privy Knowledge going over to Curse.
Dyrus,
going deep.
He's in deep, and they know he's in deep, but he does have help from Xpecial. I don't know. Interesting to see if they'll be able to pull this off. If Dominate makes a beeline straight for that blue buff, he'll be able to smite it away, because there's no smite here for TSM at the blue buff. If he runs right towards it, then he could chase him off, but he's actually going for his red instead. It will just be regular 2-buff start for Dominate, stealing away blue, going into red. And TheOddOne's going to be the jungler left with only 1 buff if he doesn't get over here quickly.
I like this. Quas doing a very good job here, shutting down Dyrus just as much as he's getting shut down. Dyrus has gotten the camps to himself fully, though, so still ahead.
Dyrus has been jungling, even though it's counter jungling technically, but it has cost them this extra buff for the TheOddOne. It's a Smite war. This is 50-50. No, Smite's not even here. It's all TSM. That's Voyboy roaming over, not Dominate.
Nope.
All right, so they go for the bottom turret in exchange. Curse here opting to try and get bottom turret in exchange for this second blue buff. It looks like a good idea, too. There's no champion reduction damage on it. Yeah. No, they leave Quas by himself, though. He's surrounded right now. This is going to be a tower dive. They've got Leona.
Curse is going to have the
Is he going to back off?
Here.
He should definitely back off here. Quas needs to know that he's in danger.
He's trying to rely on that slice and dice quite heavily for Renekton. The
Looks
turret
like he
goes
got
down.
out.
He's out though. OddOne taking some hard shots on that, and he's going to have to get himself back to the turret. So Curse going to be moving very fast on the second tier. They will get this before Team Solomid, but if teams aren't going to have the vision to keep going,
they have such a lead right now. They got that turret way quicker than TSM are going to get this top one. At best, it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade here for TSM to try and exchange towers. That's why they're sending people back already to try and save the second one.
Get Elise frenzied up on that one. Dominate gets a bit of attack speed. They're taking those turrets down quite fast.
Curse almost has it. I think they're going to finish this one off. 2-for-1 turret trades. They didn't even get the one. It's a 2-for-0 turrets in favor of Curse right now.
Bjergsen not getting any help in mid. Voyboy knows he can go a bit more aggressive on that as well. OddOne at least trying to gain ground with some wards here.
Very, very slow at taking this turret down. Now, we talk about the turret advantage, but it doesn't matter until the champions actually go back to base to purchase. It doesn't matter how much gold you have in your inventory if you haven't gone back to purchase now. So, as of right now, it's not a big advantage for Curse. They've still got all their starting items. Once they go back and purchase with 1 turret, 2 turret, and Dragon's global gold, then it's going to be hard for TSM.
Curse keeping things on the move, and they really got almost everything they wanted this game. TSM initiated something, and they floundered on it a little bit going into the jungle.
Talking about the early game, Curse said, hey, we are going to win early game, then we'll snowball it. It's going to be hard for TSM to come back. My God, do they have a handle on this early game. They have absolutely crushed TSM. Every single objective in their favor. They didn't even lose top because of the weird rotation for buff control. OddOne actually, you know, didn't want to go for that blue very early, and since he went late, it took them a very long time to fight over it.
And it looks like they're going to swap it out, go Orthodox here. Now send the duo to the top lane. A Sightstone already purchased up along with that coin generation. So he's going to be getting more money in toward Bunny Fufuu, who is a playmaker for the team. So the more he has and he can get into the fights, the better off Curse is.
Curse are making such good calls right now, too. They know that everything is gone down bottom. There's actually 2 members for TSM there. They shove everybody up top. They're not going to let TSM get this weak tower. They got so much damage on it, yes, but they didn't finish it off. And Curse are not going to let them get that global gold anytime soon. So they can keep up this advantage. It's a very, very big item discrepancy this early in the game. Only 6 minutes. And they have such a great pool of cash to work with here.
Yeah.
Sending all these range champions. Elise as a ranged jungler is amazing for shoving turrets early. Dominate's going to be able to get easy auto attack damage off, and then also has the potential for poking at that turret. Such great map movements here from Curse.
Curse doing a great job at keeping their mind set on one goal. Even Cops first buy quickly to the Zerker Greave so he can get that attack speed. More turrets. He knows he's going to kite the fight, so he's fine to not buy a lot of extra damage right now. 9.7 to 8.4. 2 turrets for Curse. They're looking for the top one as they so far control the map. The thing that scares me, though, is when TSM gets around the Dragon, it seems like games just change.
Speaking of Dragon, Curse have amazing control. Not only did they get all those bottom turrets, but they also...
They got the first one?
Got the Dragon, so they have the Dragon timer. Exactly. So they know exactly when it's going to come back up. Turrets are already down. No protection for TSM. So TSM will just have to outright win that fight through the power of team play. And using Nidalee this early in the game, it's going to be difficult for them to do. Those are going to be crucial spears from Bjergsen at the second Dragon. He's going to have to chunk down someone from Curse before the fight starts. Otherwise, Voyboy, with again, Boots of Mobility build here.
He stays true.
Yeah, he sticks with it. It didn't work out last time, but
he did rush that, though.
Right back
he didn't even have the Fiendish Codex last time. So he's got a little bit of power to get himself in and out and create that damage that would turn off Bjergsen maybe in a fight. Bjergsen himself almost matching the same thing, but he has the Chalice on the side. He's not worried about boots.
So this is a very awkward situation. They're usually at around the 7-minute marks. They're like, okay, it's the second buff spawn. We're going to catch the jungler as they hand off their blue buff to the mid laner. However, since TSM had such a weird buff start this game, weird early buffs, they actually don't even go for it. They're not headed over towards that way, so it's just a deep ward.
Nice little sidestep. Voyboy catching one just before, getting the crowd riled up. I'm sure Bjergsen's going to have a lot more to throw as we go into the game. We are not even hitting ults really around the map. You can see Dominate just getting him, or his, not a huge surge in power.
What is Renekton doing right now? Quas is deep.
Is he just chilling? Oh, he's
on top of a ward.
He's hatching it. Little wardlings.
Oh god, baby crocodiles, the worst.
Oh.
Dominate heads over though.
Dyrus
OddOne actually just went back to base. Even though TSM have a ward on it, OddOne went back to base. He was at half-life.
Oh, he got it! Look at the smile on his face.
Dyrus!
How much damage is that doing right now?
Dyrus steals that one right out of Dominate's.
140 damage.
Fingers.
140 damage.
They were being a little greedy trying to give that over to Voyboy and not taking it just with Elise. They could easily have just given their own blue buff over to Elise after stealing it. Great, great pickup for Dyrus right there.
Oh, that worked out in their favor a little bit. They're still down in gold. It's because of these turrets they're not able to get themselves to. And Curse is doing a great job at staying in the face of Team Solomid. Bjergsen's really the only one that's able to get to mid turret, put some damage on it. Quas putting the damage onto Dyrus. We got a minute 30 onto Dragon. Be interesting to see. Now ward's going to go down, or no, not a ward. Bjergsen just roam it.
Now he has hit the minion with a spear. All right, chain number 1 hits. Chain. Oh, never mind. He can't pop the second mark right there, so not getting off the full damage in that exchange. However, because blue buff was invaded, at least TSM didn't put it onto Bjergsen, giving Voyboy an edge here. He needs that edge too because mobility boots do nothing for him in lane, and he hasn't really been making use of them for roaming. So it kind of has put this a bit further in Bjergsen's favor, even though Bjergsen has been the one fighting without blue buff.
So with the lanes matched up, it looks like WildTurtle and Xpecial are able to stave off at least the turret damage. Curse does not get a quick 3 sweep across those turrets. They've just been able to grab the 2 in the bottom lane. Still very big though. Usually TSM is the one to initiate the swap as they were this game and the first ones to get those turrets, but they're lagging behind in their own strat.
So, you brought up the point about the second dragon. That's coming around very quickly here. Now, blue buff has been denied to Nidalee, and Nidalee is fairly low on mana right now. So if TSM are trying to fight around that dragon, not only do they not have their ADN support, but Bjergsen's out of mana. ADN support, though, might get something for themselves.
A little too big.
Nope, they do not get anything, and since they're up top, the dragon, very easy, no mana Bjergsen, cursed with another objective.
Well, Bunny Fufuu ruins it. He would have been seen by the ward, but both of them jumping over the wall with Caliber, Nat, and Repel. Very little cheeky dragon, the second one to them. Still seeing 1,000 gold ahead, but
that first minion just keeps charging fearlessly in front of Voyboy, taking a lot of hits for him.
Fog of War will always be the Fog of War, and you'll see long-range champions skill shotting.
This is a great rotate from Curse. As we said, the 3-man poke squad or 4-man poke squad. Everybody actually can harass under turret. This is a great little 4-man squad here. If either of those skill shots from Elise or Thresh land, it's very, very hard for TSM to do anything under that turret. And Nidalee is bad wave clear. No range wave clear. So it's really going to be hard for TSM to clear this cannon minion wave out. Curse can get a lot of damage down on the outer turret.
Looks like Cop will be there for that.
The only thing they have to worry about is hard engage. A couple members of TSM coming down.
Oh, good block on Xpecial, and he still goes for the engage. So low, Cop has to put himself in a bad spot. The focus is on to Bunny Fufuu, but it's only a support kill for OddOne. Quas on the backside sees the teleport as Dyrus comes in just in time to stop the fight.
Yeah, I don't know, not very good teleport there. The fight had already ended. It's very hard to judge those though, because you have to teleport very early to make use of it. Fight had already run its course. Now OddOne did a good job. It's a lot easier to go in deep for those executes because he evolves his ulti early and he knows that he has that invisibility to rely on. This early in the game, there's not a lot that they can punish him with. 2 pink wards though in the inventory of Curse. They can throw those down and try and catch him.
And we kind of, who was it yesterday? One of the junglers said that, Kha'Zix isn't the champion anymore to do a huge, wait a minute, Voyboy coming out.
Just tags him.
With leveling the ultimate, the Q doesn't always cancel people out as it does before. You don't get the reset with a big chunk of health. They got to be a lot lower. So how do you kind of play it if it goes wrong?
So the thing about that is that there are two stages for the game for Kha'Zix, because early on, he still builds a lot of damage. You can see all his items right now are pure damage, so he's still that giant threat. He doesn't have evolved wings yet, so he can't jump out after he gets that kill. But you just evolve your ultimate, boom, you can go invisible, run away really quick. Now, towards the end game, where he's building a lot of tank stats, you're right, he's not looking to just assassinate people anymore because he doesn't really have the full 100% burst.
Yeah.
He's looking to soak up a lot of the enemy spells while his ultimate is on, so they don't do as much, they're not as effective. And he's also looking to get in the enemy AD carry's face. Because an AD carry still, even though Kha'Zix doesn't build full damage, cannot take him late game. He's so tanky, they're never going to kill him. If he can get back there and in their face, then he can do his job.
Well, both junglers right now 1-0-0, tilting the game in their team's favor just a little bit. It's really been the Dragons Curse has been able to grab as a team together, which is pushing the game in their favor. We've seen it since yesterday, the 4.4 patch, really creating a lot of team rotation instead of single player rotation. Now 3 members of Curse mid, looking for that mid turret once again, and Cop looks to have some damage on it.
Now,
like Bjergsen's
been able to get the 3rd blue buff, so they've actually have a much easier time now. With Nidalee having blue buff, they actually have an answer for the siege. Not only are the spears hitting now for Bjergsen, but also the traps. He's pretty much one man defending against this 4-man Curse squad.
They know he can hit it. Doing the little tricks where you jump out of Cougar form and throw it as fast as you can to try and get the other player to not realize you're doing it. Little things that only are a half-second faster, but Bjergsen's hitting them spot on. You see Dominate giving up blue buff over to Voyboy. He's going to have to be the one to make plays here. A needlessly large rod could make something happen.
I actually am kind of surprised that they let that blue buff, the 3rd one, go, because they did have timer. Yes, Dyrus stole it away last time, but they still had the timer. They saw when it went down. They just didn't get in position to take that one away from Nidalee, and now they're going to pay for it, as Nidalee gets to continually play target practice.
And he's just not throwing them in willy-nilly. He's looking for Cop most of the time here. Just watch where Bjergsen's chucking these things. Still the first one in front, laying out as many bushwhacks as possible. That always lingering vision is something that's going to help you in a fight if somebody walks over it. Quas on the outside, really setting up nice positions so they can't dive towards the turret as he can come in from the side. Chris doing everything they can to stop this push.
Also, take a look at the completed items, because the 1K gold lead is not that much at this point. TSM, they have their needed items completed. A great start for Curse right there. They actually get one of their skill shots to land. Taking TheOddOne down to half is a big, big boon for them, but Nidalee just heals them right back up.
What do we got for Bjergsen? Blue buff looks like it will be down once Dragon comes up in 1 minute, so they're going to be looking to gain control on that. Curse already holds in mid, so they're well off for the position of the fight. 17 minutes in, it's going to be mid turret and Dragon possibly. This would be a huge surge for Curse if they can get both.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why TSM gave up on that. They were able to heal TheOddOne right back to full, and Nidalee still had her blue buff, but they decided to give up the pressure right around this time. I think they want the base before Dragon's going to spawn, so they can actually get some vision. Because right now, Curse actually have a pretty good spattering of wards around mid.
That kind of tells you how TSM feels about the game, though. They're not too worried. They know they're down in gold. They'll let mid go because they can come back for Dragon. So they're still calm. They know they're not in too bad of a position.
And it looks like Curse are actually going to be the ones lagging here. They're a couple seconds behind, and a few seconds could mean everything. TSM actually not on the Dragon for the spawn, but they do have Kha'Zix. Burn it down very, very quickly.
A lot of pink wards. Going down, full coverage on it. Dominate's just going to get a side check here. We do have the teleport up for Quas to come in on this fight. Bjergsen's just rolling around in Cougar form looking for someone to fight.
That's actually something that you would never have seen before this patch, a teleport Renekton. But now with teleport, the buffs to it being reducing the cooldown going to turrets. Actually a very strong summoner spell. Even on Renekton taking that one.
Oh, Bunny Fufuu almost getting a kill on that. Well played, 4 hits to it. TSM, too much ground being held here at the Dragon Pit. They're going to wait this one out. Curse would be very risky for them to fight it.
They got one hook. That's not enough. Got to be careful. Because Bunny actually took more damage in that exchange. than he gained because nobody was around to capitalize on his skill shot landing. Usually this Curse team would annihilate anyone who gets Death Sentence because Dominate can follow it up with a Cocoon. There's so much range on Cop. He can actually add damage safely, and Voyboy can jump in.
All right.
But nobody in position meant that they didn't win anything off that Death Sentence that Bunny landed.
Here we go. Come on, round 3. Bring it in. Maybe not. All right, they pick off once again. Pure chaos. Actually, Curse is being spread thin here. They have to be careful. TSM, they've kind of just switched sides now. TSM holds the top portion. They've lost their ward, but they're going to go ahead and push mid. They've really just pushed Curse out of position to gain this mid control. Yeah,
they scared him off a Dragon, and they are the ones with the upper hand as far as engage goes. They have Leona. So Curse always have to respect the ult from Xpecial and be wary of grouping up.
Dyrus holding on to Dragon's Rage in the top lane. We see that Quas is backed
Great
off
zone
the turret.
There.
Maybe seeing if he had to teleport, but he does not. Returning to that lane with Dyrus.
TSM, they're chopping that lead down. Only 1,000 now.
Things going down. There's the pink ward. That would be the one that Quas is probably jumping to if this fight happens. Bjergsen putting himself on the outside, like you said, throwing spears in. He's doing a huge job zoning in the team fights.
Oh, Xpecial gets hit. There! People are around to capitalize.
That's what they were looking for. The pick team from long range, able to get everything. Oh!
Double
the teleport party coming in! They're trying to kill the ward before he gets to it. Not going to happen.
You can't do that. You can't kill anything they're teleporting to. It goes immune. Quas waste is done.
E for effort. A for effort. Something like that. Bjergsen throwing more spears in. 27.7 to 26.4. This Dragon, if it happens, is going to have a huge effect on the game.
Oh, man. So that's the difference between landing one of those skill shots when your team is around to capitalize and landing it when nobody's there. This time, they completely annihilate Xpecial, and they gain control of mid lane. There's a stun onto a champion.
Whoa, big damage to Voyboy, though. He does get back for a hit. Bjergsen on the side is able to throw off those spears. Flashes, though. They're definitely scared about the initiation on both sides. They wanted a little bit, and then they say no. That would have been another half of his.
I was really expecting Curse to use that pick to control the next blue buff, but they did not. They went mid instead. Nidalee again with blue buff means they are going to have a lot of pain, and they actually lose Dragon on top of this. Dominate might go for the steal, but 2 spears means he can't go for the steal now. He'll just get killed.
How many times?
TSM come out with the Dragon.
How many times have you thrown a spear at Elise and hit the spiders?
Yeah, the little baby
all
spiders.
The time?
Bjergsen never does. They're always hit the big one.
Right on to Dominate. Ridiculous. 2-1 only in the kills. There's been a lot of movement on the map, though. Everybody's finding a way to stay alive.
I don't know.
With the blue
Curse
buff on them.
really had a power play there, and they didn't make anything happen with it. With the pick,
right?
They could have changed it and charged straight for the blue buff, but they did not. Tried to go mid. Maybe they did not. Since they gave up the previous blue buff, they could have just added that 5 minutes, but it's a very rough timer, so hard to make that call. They didn't have very deep vision. But TSM, strong resurgence here. Yeah. And now Nidalee is a very powerful force for them. It's going to be hard.
Only going to get bigger. Curse grouping not a little too much now, but they're sharing a lot of CS for being down so much coming out of the laning phase with all the rotating that was going on. 60 CS just about, or I should say 50 CS between the AD carries, WildTurtle and Cop. Spear being dodged out by Bunny Fufuu, and you can see about 20 CS in favor of Bjergsen there. Quas has been trying to clean up all of the lanes, so it could be big for the team.
Classic Ward fights. Just around Baron.
Baron Boogie's coming up.
Everybody knows the deal. There's a lot of movement towards the top, though. Good rotation here from Chris. They probably can finish this one, but TSM have the engage. They are the ones with Leona.
Slowly gathering in the top lane. TSM has not let the gold lead stretch to anything more than about 2,000 to 3,000. I'm going to get a quick pause into the game. The teams, Curse pretty much having a lot of control coming out through this game. Something that they did in the beginning was have Quas play to the lane, and they were able to thwart both Xpecial and Dyrus off in that situation as he was trying to counter jungle.
All right, so we got a little bug here. It's not very impactful on the game, though. Dominate's trinket is just showing that it's up when it's actually not up, so not a big deal, but they do need to get that fixed. Not allowed to talk, Rib, when there's a pause.
No.
Hush, hush.
Got to keep it calm.
Get fined a ban.
So looking at this game, Curse has the majority of the dragons, and we just saw TSM give up their mid turret to go ahead and take a dragon right after that. They actually formulated that really well and knew. I kind of played in the minds of Curse on that one and were able to take the dragon pretty easily. Curse now was focusing top lane with this occurrence of the quick bug, and once we get back in, I think they're absolutely going to try to take down the rest of that. I believe they did get it before we went into the pause. So a little more gold in favor of Curse. Team Solomid trying to regain control of their map.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a good job. I think that little occurrence in mid where even though Xpecial got picked off, TSM still came out with blue buff on Nidalee and Dragon was a very big win for them because they've actually brought the gold back to even before this top turret went down. So they're very, very close, neck and neck here. And it's definitely now going to be, as we've seen already, the fight over vision around Baron. Advantage really pretty heavy here for Bjergsen with his Nidalee, able to get the blue buff now. Voyboy with boots of mobility on LeBlanc hasn't been able to make too many roaming plays yet. So we'll have to see if those ever come into play. Can he like chase somebody down?
Right.
Hasn't really happened yet.
And when does TSM start the split push with Dyrus? When do they kind of leave Nidalee to start poking the kite and fight, not try to get the team, siege a turret? And
when they get that point where Shyvana outscales the Renekton. It's pretty close.
Oh, right.
Pretty close to coming around here because, you know, those are the two guys with the teleports. And as soon as Dyrus is able to complete, you know, maybe an aggressive item, he might. Looks like he's going full tank, though. He's got Sunfire. So it would probably just be those two knocking heads together in that side lane. I think that now TSM, since Bjergsen has gotten quite powerful, are okay with the sieges. As we've seen, he answers. Even though it's Curse with multiple skill shots that they're throwing out for this poke under turrets, just Bjergsen by himself throwing the spears is pretty much enough of an answer so far.
Looks like they're getting the type in the game. Dominate looks like he will be ready as the players getting the last sip, wetting their whistles and getting ready to back on the Rift. We're only our second game in here. First game pretty crazy that we had today. Obviously a lot of kills, a lot of good play coming in. And we're seeing it now from Curse, what they can do in the rest of this game. Team Solomid is the team they need to beat in this matchup. And Team Solomid says Curse is the team that could do it.
They did. Curse got their early game plan that they wanted. I mean, they executed. They got ahead early. They were able to snowball. But now they haven't been able to keep it, and TSM caught up. Moving forward, though, remember yesterday when TSM actually lost. Bjergsen was not with the team for many of the pushes by CLG. They have to have him this time around with the team when Curse are shoving in towards the turret because he's the answer. He's the only answer, the Nidalee spears. So if he goes off by himself again, it's going to be hard for the other four-man squad to hold.
You see Dyrus there. He was quite happy with himself, flame breathing the blue buff away from Curse. Something they tried to do. So he got back at that early portion of the game where he wasn't able to really take it away. Dyrus has been playing quite well for the team. We know him as just being rock solid all the time. Last year, there was, you know, the communication difference. They had actually swapped Dyrus or Reggie Dyrus because things were happening in Champion Select. They didn't want to. But the team's communication has just far surpassed that now. And they're one of the best teams in North America, if not the best now, tied with Cloud9 and that team to beat.
Glad to have Dyrus back in the front seat. It was very confusing to have Reggie in the top lane seat, always lane swapping to go mid.
Who would have known? When Reggie came back, you would have thought he might have been in the top lane. Who knows? Looking at this one, Voyboy has been playing quite strong. We mentioned his LeBlanc a little bit. He loves the mobility boots. He is able to create some opportunities with it, but he misses out on some of the damage. This time it's not affecting him as much. Yesterday we saw people getting away with slivers of health, which kind of implies that the buy didn't necessarily work out as well. Yeah,
I don't know. Haven't really paid off this game either, so I don't know if he will decide to change.
He's got the damage now, but just have that penetration come in so late, especially when you're already up against magic damage on the team. You got Negatron cloaks in the top lane, so you're not killing Dyrus. Got HP going on to WildTurtle, so it's going to be harder to burst him out without the penetration. We'll see what they got for each other.
They are cheaper now, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So less of an investment.
Bring your coupon. Tied up on the gold now. Just a few hundred separates these teams. 4-2 in turrets is Curse, as we said, able to grab that top one and middle, which gives them map control, and they've got the wards placed in that aggressive position towards red and the golem to use. We'll just have to see if they can get there. TSM's very good at controlling their own jungle.
All right, let's see how Curse decide to play the ranged squad that they have, this 4-man squad, because we've seen the effectiveness. If they can land one of the CCs on somebody, they can actually 100% Xpecial before he gets off his solar flare. If that happens again, that's a huge win for them. But they do have to worry about it. It's kind of like their poke comp and the hardest most dangerous thing. Good flash there. Good win for Curse, getting WildTurtle's flash down. So, as I was saying, Curse, when they do group up for this turret with their Elise, Thresh, and Caitlyn combo, they just have to be worried about the Xpecial ultimates.
Yeah, they usually come in 4s, those Xpecial ultimates. You don't want to see them coming at the team, that's for sure. Gold's still very close. 25 minutes in, a little bit slower than our first game of the day from where they are on the map.
And look at this CS differential between WildTurtle and Cop. Usually Cop, especially with Caitlyn.
Yeah, I mentioned at the beginning.
Dominating in CS.
Prove me wrong.
I think a lot of the objectives that they were gaining with the rotations they were making, Cop may have sacrificed a decent amount of CS for those. And WildTurtle has not given up anything here. He's definitely the leader at the moment, and it shows. A full Trinity Force completed. Yeah. Just pickaxe dagger for Cop, meaning that Turtle will have a much bigger impact on the next fight, which is actually going to be the fight that determines more about the game.
Yeah, next fight, especially if they have the minions.
Oh, mobility boots paying off right now.
Uh-oh.
Woo!
Better fight him quite tight. He's got a long run on this one. The team's not going to want it, though. TSM is formulating to get their blue buff first. OddOne trying to keep Bunny Fufuu back. Throws down the ultimate.
Whoa.
Looks to get 1, 2, and 3. Oh, the team wasn't ready. He jumps over to dominate. Xpecial's already been getting hit up, and that's Quas teleporting to the backside. Dyrus is already trying to get into the fight, though. And here they come. OddOne on the outside. Quas, Dominus doing quite a bit of damage. That's going to be the kill onto him. And Curse finds the jungle fight they want. OddOne really initiating that one.
Now they've got 5 people, 3 members of TSM down. Curse have to turn this into something. Last time they got a kill, they got nothing out of it. They need to get this turret down.
That was a perfect fight for them. Just before this, they had a minion wave crashing into this turret, which means it's ready to be pushed.
The kill!
Bjergsen threading the needle onto Bunny Fufuu. Another one. Cop just dodges it out with a 90 caliber net. Dyrus is in this one, strong with the Dragon's Descent. 2 people. The flash again. He takes down the spider as Dominate crumbles up. Cop's going to be the next one. Where's the spear? Does he give it to his team? Now he takes the double kill. A triple kill on the run for everyone. Voyboy's the next one. Bjergsen looking for the second quadra overall on Nidalee, and he gets it in the long chase.
What here? TSM just come out firing on all cylinders after that one. What a chase. Bjergsen lands the spear for 1 kill, and then they make the chase. Only 3 versus 4 there. Bunny Fufuu falls over. Dyrus immediately going in on this one. And since Xpecial died so early in the last team fight, he's back up, and he has home guard boots. So he gets in for the double slow, and Dominate goes down to another gigantic spear from Bjergsen. You can't get away from Nidalee. Too much move speed, especially with the hop. TSM just completely cleaned up. Curse, they were feeling the exact same thing. They were like, oh my god, we got nothing out of that last kill that we got. We need to get something out of it. But this early in the game, death timer's too low. And TSM come right back up, make them pay for it. I thought the exact same thing. I thought Curse had to get something out of it. Dominate goes for the steal and he gets it!
This is why teams don't do Baron or Dragon when Dominate is around. Always having that steal on hand.
Well, he stole the lesser of the 2, though, and TSM
for now
still with control of the map. They're probably going to get at least 1 turret, probably 2 turrets off of this. Dominate will be back up, but still Baron buff on TSM after that last chase.
They are pushing this advantage. You have to think back to yourself, how many times has Curse made an amazing move and then wanted too much that cost them?
Well, I wanted too much for them as well. I was like, oh, they got to get something out of this. There was nothing else up for them to take, though, and they were really close to this bottom turret. It's just sometimes you want it so bad. You want to make something that's so bad, but you have to give it up. But TSM do a great job. Yeah, TSM. I mean, Xpecial picking up those home guards so that he can get there in time is beautiful play by him, even though he went down early. Or I think he went down. Maybe he even got out and went back to base to buy those. He actually probably didn't die, and he probably went back to just buy the home guards. But anyway, regardless, the home guards was amazing.
29 minutes on this one. Before that fight, it was 2-1. Now we're at 5-6 in the game, so it just got a little bloody. Bjergsen picking up a hell of a lot of gold there. You can see he put a Rabadon's and a Void Staff in his inventory, so those spears probably could take out Bunny Fufuu in just 1 1/4. 10 grand to 8,600 in that mid lane.
It's a huge swing for TSM. That's how they play the game fairly often. They wait for the mistake from their opponents, and then they take everything from you. They chase them down, get multiple kills, plus the Baron. Now they're even splitting up so that they can get bottom side turrets.
Like you said.
Dyrus with the teleport advantage after that last fight.
Once they get that advantage is when they can start to initiate the split push. Dyrus is already onto the 2nd tier turret, and you see 5 members of Curse on the top side of the map right now, so that's probably going to be another one dropped with that twin bite going down. May get a little bit of harassment here from Quas, but in the end, it's going to be hard to have Curse spread this thin at 30 minutes in.
Oh! Banshees for a Banshees. Good trade. All right, so the 4-man squad, though, with the spears coming out, they're getting some work done here.
Everybody just missing on the end or not wanting to take it. There we go, taking down the 2nd tier turret. TSM moving in methodically now onto Curse's base. That was just about the last that they needed to go around the horn now on the inhibitor turrets. Dyrus is working on that 2nd tier in the bottom lane. Not too much damage. He'll do what he can.
He is
Sunfire Cape's
got the small edge though. He's outscaling Renekton by now. And Quas 2 levels down because of the last series of events where TSM got so much out of those kills plus Baron. Interesting little bush gank here, but they only have 3 people in that bush, and there's 4 members of TSM.
Wait, no, there's 3 members. Oh my gosh, math so quick. We're going to see if TheOddOne can do more. Quas and Dominate in the middle, but their health bars are quickly depleting. Turtle gets bounced. Voyboy over the wall and back over. OddOne looks for that. Oh, the cocoon saves him, but he gets the flash kill in, and it looks like Curse is going to be running scared on this one. Cop doesn't have enough handcuffs for the whole TSM team. Dominate gets hit. The slow and the Q chomp. It was enough to take him down. They are on to Cop, but not for the kill.
So that was actually very good for Curse. They got a couple kills out of it. Almost went even there. Everyone from TSM grouped up around Quas with Dominus up, so they were taking a lot of AoE, and then they were also grouped up for Voyboy's Distortion coming in. Some more good AoE for Curse, and they got a nice little pocket of damage there down onto 4 members of TSM, enabling them to actually capitalize, even though it looked like they were going to collapse on here. So who's the target again? Was it Bjergsen or TheOddOne? It was Bjergsen.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bjergsen didn't get to play this time around. But the rest of the team then collapses on the 3-man squad. Here goes where everybody jumps in and sits around Quas. Taking a lot of AoE here. Voyboy goes in for the burst. Once Dominate comes back down, they almost forgot about him. He gets to execute and almost is able to get out of this alive. But TheOddOne chases him down.
Team Solomid trying to do what they can to keep themselves now in the lead. It took them a little bit to scratch back, but they, like I said, only 3,000 gold down at the worst time in the game, and now they've put themselves up 3,000 gold with a turret in the lead. The last one to be dropped is going to be Bjergsen's. He makes his way to the bottom lane with that surge. He will be able to get the attack speed steroid and take that turret down pretty quick. The team's going to be there to help him too. They have a good pincer on Curse.
Checking all the bushes now too. They got wards in all the bushes. Make sure no members of Curse are hiding anywhere unexpected. No more Baron buff this time around though, so Siege will be slightly easier. However, Nidalee not only blue buff, but blue pot as well. And she has that trifecta of Death Cap, Void Staff, Athenes. So Voyboy and Cop cannot get hit by a spear.
Bad news bears coming in from the Javelins. Dragon's going to be coming up, worth quite a bit of gold now in this game as the rest of TSM soaks up any resources Curse could try to use. The blue buff may actually be up here if Voyboy can make it out in time. It would be very good to try and take out people like WildTurtle and Bjergsen, but without it, Voyboy is going to have a risky chance in and out of these fights. Not getting that blue buff.
They are going to get an easy Dragon, too. Kha'Zix can solo that one, no problem this time around. They're getting so much while being spread out right now. TSM, they're gaining top lane farm plus global Dragon Gold, and bottom lane is pushing. So that's going to put pressure on the bottom side of Curse. Curse losing a lot right now while they try and retain control of this Baron area. Baron coming right back up. It's going to be very dangerous for Team Curse. They need just vision. And looking again, trying to pick somebody off. They have to kill someone right before it starts. Because last time, kill someone right before it starts and still only come out behind one kill.
And here's something to look at as well, too. When TSM took the lead, I just said it was 3,000 a few minutes ago. Now it's around 6,000. When they get it, they push it immediately. They do not give the other team a chance to try and accrue any bit of gold and close that gap. And now TSM is going to do it once again, forcing down the minion waves in mid so they have pressure there. Focus again towards that top and Baron side.
Let's see, how many sweepers though? Only 2
Yep.
for TSM. Not a lot of vision control. So Curse can sneak wards inside and have a fairly good chance of trying to land one of the kill shot cocoons. Solar Flare, not pulling the trigger.
Too many Banshee's Veils coming out now. They got to be popped, and with the long range, that's really going to deny Xpecial. These guys are already dodging out the spears. Hooks from Buddy Fufuu on the Bjergsen. Quas goes in very hard. That's a good amount of front-end damage. Can they continue it, though? The DPS from Curse is going to be quite good, but TSM is positioning very well in this fight. The focus on the Bunny Fufuu gets the flash there as Bjergsen takes down Cop, and now they're on to dominate. Team Solomid didn't really do damage in the beginning of that fight. They just positioned to re-engage it. Double kill as Bjergsen gets his chase down through the jungle. 12-8 now in favor of Team Solomid.
Yeah, so what Curse are looking for with those picks is
really
long-range damage to follow it up. I don't like the full engage that Curse did after they landed just a death sentence. Because even though they land a death sentence onto Bjergsen, they weren't able to burst him down. Oh, the trap is going to burn him. So even though they landed that death sentence, that is not the signal to engage this fight. That's still a 5 versus 5 fight, and half of the duration of the stun from death sentence was already gone by the time they fully engaged there. When you just hit that death sentence, you should probably just look for harass and continue to back off from that Baron. Because, man, do they get obliterated in the 5 versus 5.
And he lived in that. Like you said, it's a Nidalee.
Yeah.
He doesn't have huge tank items. He should have gone down immediately.
So they didn't have Elise close enough to follow up the death sentence with Cocoon, which is really the true death sentence for a champion, as if they could stack that CC and burst him down. But since they weren't able to really get that happen, they have to wait for another pick. They're just too far behind to make that 5v5 engage call.
Bunny Fufuu getting a nice Banshee's Veil off there, but not the one he wants to grab initially. Very small window of chances that Curse does have to get these initiations in. You can see that Bunny Fufu's trying to do it as they have the turret up whenever they can here. Again, he gets it up.
There we go.
Boots of Lucidity are allowing him to chain over and over again, making the plays. They go to the other one when he's invisible. Bjergsen's already out of this one, but they have to be aware of the spears from the outside. Bunny Fufuu, another hook onto Xpecial, but that might have been the ender for him. He finally goes down in the fight. Dyrus and Quas throwing out so much AoE from Burnout and Dominus, but so far they split and the turret stands.
So the TSM were still fighting that one after WildTurtle got burst down, but Bjergsen basically left the building. He was halfway back to base of that side. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication. Dyrus, however, you see how ridiculously tanky Shyvana gets.
Yep.
He could stay in the middle, and they fought it even with Turtle down. All right, let's take another look at the hook right through the team onto Turtle, and they get an amazing burst. Great job from Bunny and Voyboy. But now they chase outside of the base. And look at the mini-map. Bjergsen's still running back towards the base. Bjergsen's recalling right now, but Dyrus is fighting everybody. TheOddOne comes out. Bjergsen returns to the scene, and they actually get the upper hand here.
Great job, guys.
Answering double kills.
You see Cop shooting TheOddOne when he was in the ultimate. It was like hitting a brick wall with that damage reduction. TheOddOne wasn't going anywhere.
And My God, look at Dyrus right now. Talk about tanks. He is the mother of all tanks right now. There's almost, it's so hard for Cop to do anything to him. Even if he does, he's hurting himself almost as much as he's hurting Dyrus with the Thorn Mail.
So if it can happen again, you saw the direct fight for Curse. They got through the small window. Said it was really tiny, but they were able to fit through with Voyboy taking down WildTurtle, but it was chaotic. If TSM can kite the fight, they have it against Curse.
Lichbane, though, for Nidalee. Tower doesn't stand a chance. TSM walk right into base.
Structures are running scared right now for Curse. OddOne back into the base. Bunny Fufuu on the outside of the base right now. Voyboy goes to double distortion, but he pulls it back to his first one. He could go down. He will go down as Dyrus throws down the burnout into the fight. Cop gets chewed up by OddOne. Bug splat for sure. Quas is going to be the next, and he runs for Solace on the fountain. Inhibitor goes down. It looks like TSM should have the number on this one.
Yep, TSM 19-9. A big win for them.
Nexus turret going down. Just under 40 minutes in the game. Team Solomid pushes that score a little bit more. They're going to be picking up the win, and they're going to be going home with a victory on the end of the week. So they will not lose 2 in a row, Kobe. Just the one.
Curse got ahead early. They did execute their plan fairly well, but TSM never give up. They stood in the game, and they were able to turn it around. Just a couple very, very close calls toward the mid-game there. Bjergsen Nidalee, by the time, once Bjergsen started getting blue buff, he was able to handle all of the pressure from Curse. Pretty much all of their tower sieging pressure was relieved by Bjergsen.
Got a new visa, got a new haircut, got another Nidalee win. That's all that you need in life. Curse, another one tacked onto the loss column, but such structured play coming from them still. They're a team that has priorities as they go into the game, and they execute them. It's just when you have a team like Team Solomid that can adapt to those strategies on the fly, it's very hard to change what you have set in stone.